The mess the government shutdown created for air travel raises the fundamental question: why is the air traffic control system still part of the government? Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. Thousands of flights were canceled, and millions of travelers had their plans upended because the government shutdown meant air traffic controllers didn't get paid. A number of controllers decided that no pay meant no work and stayed off the job. The no-shows hit a system that was already in serious crisis. Even before the shutdown, nearly 90% of control towers across the country were understaffed. The deadly air collision at Reagan National Airport this past January and numerous near misses testified to a troubled system. Much of the equipment is obsolete and the technology woefully outdated. Last May, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy proposed an ambitious $31.5 billion modernization program to overhaul a shockingly decrepit system over the next 3 to 4 years. He requested that the money be provided up front so that long-term contracting commitments could be made. Congress approved $12.5 billion and was very specific on how the funds were to be spent. The rest of the money would be appropriated sometime in the future. And here we get to the fundamental problem. Sensible, long-term management and planning are impossible as long as the government runs the air traffic control system. Micromanagement by parochial politicians in the uncertainty of year-to-year funding guarantee failure, just as they have in the past. There have been glittering promises of modernization before, and they all flopped with uncertain, inadequate funding and routinely missed deadlines. That the mightiest country in the world that pioneered aviation should be hobbled with a system fit for the Smithsonian Museum is a shameful disgrace. It increasingly endangers passenger safety. It chronically results in longer than necessary flights because of obsolete routing, the out-of-date way to space distances between aircraft, and the stunning lack of modern technology to deal with adverse weather conditions. The solution to all of this is to do what scores of other countries have done for years: remove the entire air traffic control system from politics and put it in an independent, non-profit organization. Safety regulations would remain with the Federal Aviation Administration. The new entity would be financed by user fees. It could float bonds for large-scale, long-term projects. All this would free it from the destructive, short-sighted vagaries of the Washington politicians. This is not theory. Scores of countries such as Germany, Canada, and Japan have gone in this direction since New Zealand successfully adopted such an approach back in 1987. We are truly the outlier here. President Trump proposed this kind of basic reform in his first term, but it was grounded by Congress. He should relaunch it now. A great country should be the cutting-edge innovator in air traffic control instead of an embarrassing and increasingly high-risk laggard. By the way, the President is right to recommend that controllers who stayed on the job during the shutdown receive a $10,000 bonus. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions, and I look forward to being with you soon again.